We're going to be talking about the new announcement today, the new release of Threads, which is a new app by Meta or Facebook, which looks a lot like Twitter. If you aren't aware, it looks a lot like Twitter. And I have some thoughts about it, but we got a really amazing panel of other creators and people within the space to talk knowledgeably about the topic. So I'm Alex. I'm a social media coach, and I run a networking organization for social media creators called Creator Networking. But I want to introduce the other people on the call today. So we have really, really big people within the creator space. One of the biggest here is Corey ASMR. So Corey, could you tell us who you are?
Yeah, my name is Corey ASMR. I'm pretty big on YouTube and TikTok. I'm the most influential male ASMR content creator in the world on TikTok in my niche. And I'm also a consultant for social media creativity and strategy.
Excellent. Thanks, Corey. Let's go with Trent Knox.
It's Trent Knox. I'm a creator economy consultant. My main platform is on LinkedIn. I have a gaming and esports networking page called the Esports Business Network, and I help enterprise businesses get into the creator economy space and help content creators formalize their business and grow. And it's great to be here.
Thank you, Trent. Trevor.
Same. Really great to be here. Appreciate the invite and keeping us included in all the things that y'all are exploring. My name is Trevor Tomion. I have two companies, Common Leaders, which focuses on org development and leadership development. And then I have Numerous Media, Numerous Perspectives Media, which focuses on giving folks that maybe have traditionally not had a platform in our economy, the biggest one and the prettiest one possible. So I got a streaming app, and we like to put creators on it. And I also love teaching creators.
Excellent. Thanks, Trevor. And we got Peter. Peter's also on the call. Tell us about yourself, Peter.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I'm Peter Perez. I'm a co-founder of a metaverse events platform called Inverse. Over the past 4 years or so, we've helped 400 organizations use, online or gaming technology, full stack, comms, support, and event ticketing, exhibitor booths to help them monetize events at scale. So, obviously we work with a lot of creators to help them create these events, live stream them, and create some immersion so that they can either add it to an existing in-person event, or they can have their own standalone virtual event and have a global reach, global audience.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. So topic today is Threads. Threads, the new app released by Meta and Facebook, looks a lot like Twitter. I have some notes about it. I think there's an opportunity. I think adoption rate will be high. I think there's a lot of excitement. Like I said, I have some notes about it, but what's your guys' initial gut reaction to it? You thinking this the new big thing, or how do you feel that this new Threads app fits into kind of the social media ecosystem? What do you think? Just kind of initial reactions.
Man, it just seems like it's going to be a little bit of Wild West for the year. I mean, I think a point that we mentioned before we went on record here is that there's going to be no ads for the first years of what they're reporting, and that's going to be big.
Yeah, I saw that. I was scrolling, and I just realized there's not a single ad on the platform, and it actually reminded me of TikTok. If you remember a couple of years ago on TikTok, you almost saw zero ads. I mean, there were ads through the discovery page, but as far as the scroll went, there were like no ads. And I said, wow, that's a really smart move, because they're creating basically the most pleasurable user experience possible in order to gain market share, and then over time they can ratchet up the ads. Same thing that happened on Facebook or on all the platforms, right? So I think it's a smart move.
I want to play a little bit devil's advocate on that one, though, because I did see on Threads, because I spent a good amount of time on it this morning, that Kevin O'Leary said that the battle between Twitter and Threads is going to come down to advertising.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, if they can last a year and maintain the attention. I think people are, kind of asking, comparing the opportunity towards Vero social. I don't know if the listeners or y'all were familiar, but Vero kind of wanted to target the entertainment community of people going to watch movies, people going to listen to music or things, and it being a social component around the entertainment component. The question is I think, is Threads going to be more, politically aligned like Twitter, or is it going to be more entertainment focused like Hollywood?
Yeah. Well, I got to have a take on that, but I want to give maybe Trevor or Corey or Peter an opportunity to kind of put their input in here before we kind of move on. But Peter, did you have something?
Yeah, they have the infrastructure already for the kinds of ad buy and promotions that you want to add over Facebook and LinkedIn. That infrastructure already exists, or rather Facebook and Instagram. So Meta already, they've been thinking about this. They know how they're going to run ads. I'm pretty sure they have a strategy on how they're going to deploy it, but they just launched. they got to understand, like how many people are actually using it. How can they justify the price point in which they're going to be asking for and how it's going to reach? So really, this is just them creating kind of a baseline. They've got to get, some good scoring from the user base, fix some bugs. I mean, they're going to be following the policies of Meta for the most part, from what I presume. Again, I'm just kind of speculating on this. And, my biggest concerns are, what is that going to mean for data privacy, security, censorship, regulation? I'm not a fan of censorship in any kind. If you don't like something, don't consume it, right? Go to the places where you want to consume the content. Don't create an uprising about it. And I mean, fight for things that actually matter, like your family, your friends, right? Your loved ones. That's just my personal thoughts on it. I think that the whole politics aside, I think people are going to use platforms if they are there, right? In this case, in social media, if you build it, people will come.
Sure. Any Trevor or Corey, any kind of gut reactions about the release and kind of first impressions before we kind of get in the nitty gritty?
I'll leave it quick. I'm still playing around. I'm excited to play around. I have some questions about it that I'm excited to explore with y'all over time, but I'd love to hear Corey's take because the first thing I want to know is, are you going to get over there with your branded content, man? Like, is that a thing you can do yet?
Funny enough, I don't know, but I'm taking a more theoretical kind of thought on it. I think it's always good, especially so when something's new, right? When anything's new, there's always a risk of it going down, or sink. And I think you have a better chance, a better risk, I guess, better reward with it staying because it's owned by Papa Facebook and Instagram. So the fact that it has a better chance of staying and it's not just one of those trends, like Musically or any of that other stuff, or Vine, for example, it just has a better chance. They have more money. They're a bigger company. So you might as well just take your chance at a brand new service and that you can possibly accelerate your growth at the beginning. So that's why I'm going to be on it. But I don't know if the ASMR thing is going to be very, very good with it. I'm thinking it be more for consulting, teaching social media to brands and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody say, next week, get ready for all the coaches doing their how to use Threads course or like become a master class. Like, I'm going to be selling that too. I'm just joking. Guys, I had done I'm kind of an expert at Threads. It's been out for, like 16 hours and I've used it, for like 20% of the time it's been out. So I know a lot. I'm just joking. But some of the things that my hot take on it is I think it's going to suck personally. And the reason I think it's going to suck is because this one thing, they ruined the app with this one thing. When you have a large Instagram following, it transfers directly into your Threads following. Okay. So what I think is that Threads is a advertiser-friendly Twitter, and it's going to be corporate. It's not going to be paid, but they're going to boost corporate accounts. They're going to boost big creators because they brought their entire following over. Kim Kardashian, who's not, this is like kind of a cringy example, but like, what does she know about writing Twitter threads? Nothing. What do these big creators who are big on Instagram know about copywriting? Nothing. So I think they had an opportunity to kind of reset the playing field for like the Instagram, Facebook realm and create, kind of an amazing thing. But I think they kind of ruined it by prioritizing accounts on Instagram who have large followers. So I think that's one element of it. I do think, though, that Facebook has a master plan that they're releasing this because it is a part of an ecosystem of products that will fit within the metaverse.
Yeah.
Right. So they want you to log in the metaverse, the app, and then you have your Facebook, you have your Instagram, you have your Threads now, and you have all the other stuff. Right.
Right.
So that's where I think they're kind of going with it, is like, is it going to be a competitor par for par with Twitter? Probably not, because I think it's a different type of discussion they want to have there. I think they want to have more of a corporate discussion, more of a Facebook terms of service discussion, and Twitter is going to be kind of more of that smaller, medium creator talking a little bit more freely. So what do you think about that, guys? Peter, go ahead.
All right. My biggest issue is a lot of these accounts that are huge corporate accounts that have this like massive followings, right? And Elon Musk brought this issue up, and this was one of the reasons why he bought Twitter, is that he wanted to champion combating AI and combating bots, He wanted to make sure that there was an even playing field and that people who had a voice or had something to say could be able to do that and not be drowned out by the noise of people like botting or buying, data farms and setting up accounts. And we don't even know if there's actually real people on the other end of that. Is Threads now going to create this issue where all you have to do is buy your blue tick, and you do that across a bunch of accounts, and then you still don't know who they are. You don't really have any KYC going on the platform. So it's like, I totally agree with you, Alex, that is a problem when you have like the Kim Kardashians and, the Bill Gates and, all these big political actors and well, just actors in general. You have them be able to move in it and bring all that following with them. We don't get to actually see them grow organically and have a real snapshot on, are people really paying attention to what they're sharing? Do they really care about that messaging? Because personally, it's like, that's not the content I'm consuming. I'm going to look at other innovators and other builders and communities and, apps that are being created, and entertainment and comedy. It's very rare that I'm paying attention to these other platforms that just are super inflated, and I have no idea how they actually got that far.
Yeah, when you look at like Facebook and Instagram, right, it's like pretty much at this point, like pay to play for a lot of people. There is an opportunity to use short form video to grow on Instagram, I think. There's some kind of more esoteric strategies on Facebook. But yeah, I do kind of see Twitter, or Threads, I should say, falling into that kind of same category of kind of a corporate platform. And then acting as like the news feed for your Instagram profile. So I imagine that they'll probably have a button on your Instagram profile that links to your Threads account. And then you can kind of see the updates, because Instagram, you're only posting like once a day, maybe, right? As opposed to these Threads, you could put out a lot of updates for your community and whatever there. But Trent, you had something to maybe add on to there?
Well, I think I want to reflect on something we talked about prior to jumping on the call about content and what's the word for it? Sampling or doing testing on content that you might post on YouTube by posting it on Facebook. And so that might be the case. And I'd have to kind of like segue this over to Corey and ask, like, would you be interested in maybe, testing content you put on your TikTok on Instagram Reels, and then using, we talked about the community, the shared kind of component, this collective attention economy, utilizing that thread like a community tab, whereas I think that TikTok doesn't have that.
Sorry, that was like the first time I've ever done that. So yeah, I think my first thought process within this is to maybe try uploading it, doing the whole strategy like you said of, I forgot who did that, who said that in the call prior, but I know someone said it. I don't know, was it Adrian?
I think
Yeah, it
so.
was Adrian Boissel, right? But anyways, basically uploading it to LinkedIn. I think it depends again on the type of content, right? With when you're testing it somewhere besides Threads to put it onto Threads, maybe. I think some platforms that are good would be Discord with your community, LinkedIn within your community as well, and maybe Twitter. I mean, you could try doing it Twitter first and then uploading it Threads, right? Same concept. So it's kind of like that whole uploading it to YouTube Shorts to see how it will do on TikTok, vice versa, uploading in TikTok, see if it does well on Shorts and Reels. It's kind of that concept. I think anything would honestly work as long as you have a solid following and see how your community reacts to said thing you upload elsewhere first.
One of the big things that I saw on Threads was right in the app, they have an ability to tweet it within it's a pretty quick process to tweet your thread. And so I think kind of the play there with Threads is that they're saying, hey, instead of going to Twitter and then having to go through kind of the laborious process of reposting to Threads since they're identical apps, post on Threads and we make it super simple to retweet that or to put that on Twitter also. And so they're saying if we can just keep people on Instagram and essentially within their things and then allow it to be easily reposted to Twitter, and Twitter might not reciprocate. And so that would leave an opportunity that would basically have more people using Threads because it's so easy to cross post. So that's kind of the theory there, but go ahead, Trevor. Or Trent, I saw Trent.
Yeah, as I was listening to you guys, I was thinking about Instagram, and there's really three categories of content on Instagram that do well: food, beauty, and product. Really, those are the three that really do well. And I was thinking about food, and we have a community member who's in the group who I definitely want to ask this about as far as restaurants go. When restaurants start to post to this and as a small business component, is this going to be a way for them to have commentary further and further the conversation around the culinary arts or what a small business in the restaurant business is going to do? I think this is going to have a big impact on that. Whereas as far as Twitter goes, they don't really target that market, the foodie culture or anything in that realm. And Instagram and Pinterest and whatnot, if we start to kind of segue down the road of what that looks like, yeah, restaurateurs, I think maybe that might be a big demo for what Threads offers.
You know what really is funny about this? I was watching Joe Rogan being interviewed by another group of folks, and him kind of putting the justification behind long form content versus short form content, and that there's this misnomer that short form content is the only way that we're going to get people's attention. Threads is another example of Twitter needed a long form content, so Threads is like, hey, we're going to create this ability for you to do microblogs and go a little bit more in depth in the story that you want to create. So it's proving out that there is very much a need and a desire, I think, from the communities to have a little bit longer form content. They want to come to their own conclusions. They want people to have a more constructive, more thoughtful content that is being pushed out. Now, it'll be exciting to see who comes out as the king in posting kind of this long form content. And I have a feeling that Threads is inevitably going to head down the road of more politics and like more sensationalism, because that tends to what gravitates people's attention, right? If it leads, it leads, and it's kind of the traditional behaviors of how the media have been over the past few years. It doesn't have to be that way, and I think that's where creators are going to be able to make it so that there's more of a level playing field. But I don't know, it's owned by Meta, and we know what their history is. I just don't know. And I'm speaking from somebody who hasn't even used Threads and just from simply doing some general kind of searching as to what kind of the pros and cons are.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, and like piggyback on what Trent just said, the ability to do these microblogs, I think is a signal towards longer form content being something that, maybe our age demographic and maybe younger is starting to feel like they need more of, because the short form content is not as enriching as it is over time. It has diminishing returns. And longer form content might be something that, will be sought after in greater frequency.
Yeah, I think you touched on something kind of pretty important there. If you look at what Meta has right now or Facebook has right now, they don't have a long form platform necessarily. I mean, they had like IGTV, but that went away, and people aren't really on the so maybe this is an opportunity for them to dive more into. I think that's a great point. And Trent, what you said about the food bloggers or like even just the food industry, I think that's, food always does really good on video. And so there's a video element, but then there's also kind of a discussion element too. And I think there's something I don't know, I think you're onto something there. So maybe we should all be reaching out to our local restaurants and, hey, we'll do your Threads account for you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the interesting question is, what is your appetite for this new product? Are you going to be the type of consumer that's going to be actively on it? And that's the end game. It's not the advertisers, because without the consumers, you're not going to have advertisers. So, that's it. Playing devil advocate there against Kevin O'Leary is like, yeah, but if they choose to go a full year without it and they lose the consumer, it's no bueno. It's over. They did another project called Egg. It was E.GG. And it was supposed to be this kind of like, what's that website where you design web pages? It's not Canva. It's like Canva. It's Adobe bought it.
Adobe, not Squarespace.
No. It's like just a landing page. It's a one long landing page. Just for designers.
Or
similar things like that, right? Adobe bought
web builder.
Just a web builder, right? Yeah. And that product was only it goes. I guess I missed this point earlier, but it being a test kitchen, Threads being a test kitchen for these ideas and new concepts, but it was only in test flight on iOS. And that's another thing, right? So like, what's the reach? I know Vero mentioned that they just launched on Android. Are they in the process of launching on Android? I believe Threads is exclusive to iOS right now. So that's only a small portion of the global reach. So
Trevor, you're shaking your head. It's not iOS only.
Yeah, I got a Samsung and I have it on my phone.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, I already reposted one for you, man. I got you, Trent.
There we go. No, that's great because most apps actually launch without the Android support. So, they're first to market in that regard.
We're wrapping up here, guys.
Yeah.
So we going to do a Threads account? Are all of us going to be on Threads? Is that the consensus here? Yeah, we're going to give it a go. We'll give it a try. So any final thoughts on the app? I think I got through everything that I talked about. Like I said, I think it makes sense when you think about the ecosystem of Meta's total app library under the metaverse kind of banner. It's a Twitter competitor that might be more advertiser friendly than Twitter, but that can also be a negative because it kind of supports and holds up the people who are already the big creators, right? And maybe the smaller or medium-sized creator might have issues. It's yet to be seen. A lot of things have obviously not been built up with the app. I'm sure they're going to release a ton of updates. Like you can't search for content. You can only search for people. There's only one page where there's even content present. It's the homepage. So I'm sure they'll build out a For You type of page and you'll be able to search content and they might even have a discovery tab, but it's pretty bare bones right now as far as features. But any final, as we kind of wrap up here, any final thoughts or, input?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'll just mention the number of users that are like paid, monetizable daily active users. Just kind of doing a quick search. Back in Q2 in 2022, Twitter mentioned they had 206 million monetizable daily active users. That obviously may have changed. They reported some really interesting numbers over the past couple of weeks. Well, they mentioned that the numbers had skyrocketed. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but Threads realistically can get something close to that, which means that they might, be in the black here pretty soon, depending on what the development costs are, just simply from paid accounts that, want to get the blue check mark. So, there might be an extended period of time where they can just really see if having no ads encourages more people to have verified accounts. So, that could be a campaign that Threads gets behind. Like, we're not going to have any ads here. You pay for the blue check mark and you help support the platform. Or, a way to say if you don't want to see any ads, get that blue check mark. And that works, with Hulu and some other, streaming services. So it might work for Threads. Who knows? But anyway, Corey.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, this is just kind of a dumb question. When I open up the app, do you guys know, like it said, there's a whole list of follow requests. How do you not press confirm on all of them?
I know that's the same question I had earlier.
Yeah,
I'm close to the same thing.
I'm not going to confirm them. That's a good problem to have, right? That makes me feel cool and all, but I'm not confirming all of them. I'll just start square one.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That's an interesting take on it, especially for you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to have more discussions on this. If you like this YouTube video, if you want more creator panels like this, we might do it on a daily basis, but we're going to need your guys' support. So make sure to like, share, subscribe this video. And if you have your own input, if you're a creator and you'd like to be on our next meeting, you can go to creatornetworking.com, go to one of our next networking meetings, and you might have the opportunity to be on one of our creator panels. But thank you guys. Thank you, Peter and Corey and Trevor and Trent. Thank you so much for giving your input. This is a hot topic. A lot of people are curious, and I don't think there's better people to go to than us. So thanks for your time today, guys. We'll do this again soon. Thanks.